Greetings everybody, my name is GATHURU. I am the founder and director of business and strategy for Life Skills Consulting, a consulting firm that does communication work, customer experience excellence work, and content development. Today we want to focus on the voice of the customer. We'll be talking about why this is important, how we can listen to the voice of the customer, and what benefits we can derive from actually tapping into the voice of the customer. But before we do that, right now we want to talk about the importance of peace in the business environment. We really must maintain peace if we want businesses to thrive. At this point in time, we're looking at the possibility of things not going the way they are supposed to go, but who's responsible for that? Ourselves. We are all business people. We're people trying to eke out a living one way or the other. And for us to thrive in business, it means that you and I must give each other excellent internal customer service. I am your customer. You are my customer. We get different things from each other. And this cannot survive if we do not maintain the peace. Whether we are in corporate or in a small enterprise or in the Juakali sector or in government or we are a big blue chip corporate, really without peace, we cannot do what our businesses were called to do. Because every single business has a purpose. You start a business, you start an organization because you want to achieve something. That purpose cannot be fulfilled if there is no peace. So as customer service people, as people who are really thriving on the fact that service delivery is what drives business, business cannot happen, economy cannot run if there is no peace at the center. So this is a call to action for each one of us in our spaces to maintain peace, to call for peace, to advocate for peace, and to ensure that peace is delivered. Great peace is great business is great returns for you and me at a personal level and at a professional level. Let's talk about listening to the voice of the customer. What does it mean to listen to the voice of the customer? Why is it important to listen to the voice of the customer? When you listen to the voice of your customer, you can really know and understand who your customer really is, because the customer is at the center of business, right? If you don't know and understand your customer, then how will you serve them well? For you to serve them well, you need to know what do they want, how do they want it, what are they thinking, what do they like, what don't they like, and to tap into that, you must really listen to them. When you listen to the voice of your customer as well, you get from them very important information, because the customer is going to tell you, hey, this is what I think we should be doing. If you repackage the product like this, don't you think it would serve us better? The customer will give you such important information. It will save you from going out to do market research and try and find out what to do to please the customer. The customer will just tell you. So it is important to really, really listen to the voice of the customer. It also brings forth new products, because the customer will tell you, this is happening out there, we might need to do this, if this worked faster, better, more efficiently, if we tweaked it like this or like that. So your research department, or whoever is looking through the products and services that you're packaging to put out to the customer, will have such a rich information that has come from the customer themselves. And the information must come from the customer. Otherwise, as a business, whether you're a small business, a medium-sized business, a really booming business, you must do stuff that responds to what the customer wants. You might think internally, oh, we are going great, let's go and innovate like this. But really, truly, if you're not doing it based on what the customer wants, it's not going to work. It's like a relationship. You go out and buy this lady flowers and gifts. She doesn't want that. Instead of asking her, what would you like, my dear one? And she says, oh, I just want to go to the roadside and sit there and have a plate of fries. And you've gone to buy flowers. You must listen to the voice of the customer so that you're responding directly to what they need. Ask them. Ask the customer, what would you like? What is going well? What is not going well? That will enable communication to keep going. Another great benefit that comes from listening to the voice of the customer, and why we must do it, when you listen to somebody, listening is a very, very, very generous act. The customer feels very warm towards you if you're listening to them. They are endeared to you. They think this brand listens, this brand cares, this brand thinks I'm important, this brand appreciates me. And when a customer feels emotionally engaged with you, you have won. your brand equity will be very, very high. So listening to the voice of the customer is not just something you do to improve your processes, services, and so on. It's what you do to enable you have a great relationship, a warm relationship, a relationship that will endure the hills and valleys. So when the valleys have come, that customer that you're listening to, they will walk with you through the hills and valleys. So yes, please, it is very important to listen to the voice of the customer. When listening to the voice of the customer, it's important to take a step back and ask ourselves, what important things must we do to enable us listen to the voice of the customer? Voice of the customer, VOC, it has become a very cliche term, but in actual sense, listening to the voice of the customer has never changed and will never change. So the what of it, the core of it is really critical. What exactly are we listening for? What kind of tool are we going to use to listen to the voice of the customer? Who is the customer? What do they respond to? So that must be very, very cleverly designed. And whatever it is we're using to listen to the voice of the customer, it must be user-friendly. Customers do not want to fill out long questionnaires and long forms which look like something that from a medical report. They don't like that at all. So depending on the demographic of your customer and depending on what it is they're going to respond to, you must be able to match that and ensure that the process is very seamless. Something else about the what is, the customer must see the value. What is in it for me? I'm not going to fill out any listening tool unless I know for sure that this is going to benefit me. So your customer will be thinking, why should I do this? Why should I give feedback? What is in it for me? So as we put out listening tools and as we listen to the voice of the customer, we must be clear to communicate to the customer, this is how you're going to benefit. We value your feedback. Your feedback will help us improve the product. Your feedback will enable us serve you better. Your feedback truly is valuable to us and we want to hear you. You are important. What you say is important. Every little thing is important because it is the small things that count. It's not big things. So it's this thing you say and that thing the other person says that we will put together and package for you what it is that will bring you satisfaction. If you introduce yourself like that and you're listening to like that, the customer will say, sure, I'm here, talk to me. I will give you feedback. I will tell you what I don't like. I will tell you what I like and ensure that they are right in the middle of that and that they feel valued. As human beings, our biggest need is to feel valued, to feel appreciated, to feel loved. And if a brand is giving you that and coming to explain to you, your voice is important, your thoughts are important, your feedback is important, you will run towards that brand and give feedback very quickly. Now what happens very many times is people shove questionnaires at you, they send you things, and you're wondering, why should I fill this? I don't want to fill this. My life is so busy. My day is so busy. I don't have time for this. But it's because the entrepreneur, the organization, the company has not taken time to explain to you why it is important. Critical to note as well is that we should not just put out voice of the customer tools for the sake of it. Why are we doing this? In fact, what you're going to do with the information after the voice of the customer study is more important than the study itself. So if we are gathering feedback and it's going to be put on the shelf and it'll be dusty there, don't do it. Don't do it at all. We must be very clear before we start. What are we going to do with the information that we get? Are we going to analyze it? What parameters are we going to check on? Who needs this information? Is it needed at the level of selling and business development? Is it needed at leadership level to make decisions? Is it needed by the people that actually craft the products and services and package them so that they can listen and hear what the customer is saying? Who needs this information? What are they going to do with it? So do not start a voice of the customer study if you don't know what you're going to do with it after. The after is more important than the before. And then give feedback after that. You've done this study, you've listened to the voice of the customer. This has come out of it. Tell the customer, remember, you give us this feedback, this is what we've done. Or if you haven't done anything, say, we haven't done anything with it, but we're incubating it because we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And then the customer will feel, oh yes, my information did not just disappear somewhere. It's being used for something. So we must close that loop, the information loop, the feedback loop, to ensure that our voice of the customer study, in whichever way it's coming, is important, lands well, and is received well by the information giver. voice of the customer, VOC. What is this animal called VOC? You know, it sounds like some customer experience lingo. In actual terms, VOC could be anything. It just means listening to the voice of the customer. And there's so many different ways in which we can listen to the voice of the customer. It's for us to study the customer and know and understand what would resonate well with this customer. What kind of methodology could I use that will give me great feedback? There's physical things we can do. We can call customers together in one room and have a focus group discussion and talk to them and ask them what they feel and how things are and what great ideas they have in a room, physically like that. Or as they exit from our business, that's another physical way we can do it. We can do an exit survey. You know, have someone stand there and say, could I get 2 minutes of your time? Explain the reason why you want 2 minutes of this person's time and actually jot down their feedback and get it. Or you could make a phone call, you know, call the customer and say, do you have time? And make sure you ask if you have time. Don't just launch into your survey like that. Ask them if they have time. Tell them how much time it's going to take. It'll take 3 minutes. The customer will say yes. Ask them the questions, take down the information, and gather feedback. So those are the physical ways in which we can actually get feedback from our customer. Right now, there are also all sorts of online surveys. You can create a survey, send it to the customer, do a questionnaire, send it out to the customer. On social media, we can run all kinds of opinion polls from our customers, and they give us feedback. All manner of tools exist, and when you go online, you'll find whatever suits you. There are different apps that will crunch out survey questions, but for as long as the survey is not long and dreary, and you've thought through it, and you've tried to figure out, if I was sitting in my customer's shoes, do I want to answer 10 questions? Do I want to ask 20 questions? Do I want to answer 5 key questions? What kind of questions do I want to answer? Once you've sat in the customer's shoes and understood that, then put out the survey online and then get the feedback and get it done. There are other kinds of survey tools that have come up where you press buttons. You're in a banking hall, say for example, and on exit you press whether it was good, excellent, very good, poor, fair, and so on, and you press the button and you go. That's another way. One limitation of that though is that it doesn't give you qualitative feedback. You see, if you press a button that says good, very good, you can crunch up a graph that will give you feedback. But what about somebody who wants to say, that cashier was chewing gum while serving me? How would they do it on that platform? And it doesn't allow space for you to type in something. So you must be careful to balance the qualitative information that you want to get and the quantitative information that you want to get and see which way does it work. There are very interesting tools that have come up and that have been used over time and proven, like the Net Promoter Score, where you just ask one question. How willing would you be to recommend this service or this product to your friends, family, colleagues, and people in your network on a score of 1 to 10? And then there's a scientific way behind it. It calculates those who are promoters, those who are detractors, and those who are passives in the middle. And then after that, you can ask why. If you give a 1 or a 5 or a 9, you explain why. So that's a balance between the quantitative and the qualitative, and you can give yourself an index and a target. Another one that's slowly picking up and that's trying, to get its space in this market is called the Customer Effort Score. How much effort does it take your customer to get the service or the product from you? And they score it 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, and then you can ask why, and they'll tell you why it was so difficult or so easy to get service from you. And from that also you can put in the quantitative and the qualitative and see what are customers really saying. But whatever you use, you do not need scientific tools. You can just ask questions. Customers will tell you. So what you use is important. How you use it is important. What you do with the information after that is important. And last, very important, please go and spy on yourself. Do a mystery shopping activity. Get some people that are not known to your business. Let them come in, pretend to be customers, and get a real life experience of what your business is doing. How are you serving customers? How did they feel? Let them go through the process of buying the product. Let them go through the process of experiencing that service, and let them give you real feedback of how they felt. Not what was done to them, or not done to them, that's important, and gather it. But how did they feel? Because it's how people feel that make them make decisions. So please, mystery shop, conduct mystery shopping around your business. You will get excellent, excellent feedback. So listen to the voice of your customer. Very important. It will give you joy. It will give your customers joy. Your business will thrive. This very, very invigorating discussion we've had about listening to the voice of our customers, we need not leave it just as a conversation here. We need to take this practically and go and do it, and start today. Just listen to the voice of the customer. One customer, two customers, however many customers you have, just go and listen to them. You will be amazed at what comes out from their sharing. Let's just listen to the voice of our customers. And here on Biashara TV, we have so many things to discuss about the customer. So I'm encouraging you to keep it locked, keep coming. We're going to talk about different tips and different ways to ensure that customers really remain at the center of our focus to drive our business to success. And most importantly, let's remember to keep the peace. Peaceful country, peaceful customers, peaceful people.